And this car sat in the original owner's garage. My understanding was he had moved, car got parked, and that was sort of it. Life changes, change of events, and the poor car hasn't seen the road since he had moved and just sat there for a number of years. No brakes? Pulled in reinforcements for the bleeding procedure. Pump it up. Ooh, we have brakes. All right, guys, so here we are, our first drive in the 86. All right, guys, welcome back to the infamous project. And today we are going to be working on the 1986 GT 4i hatch that I picked up off the original owner not too long ago. And so if you haven't seen the video on me getting the car running for the first time, make sure you check that one out. I'll put the card up so you guys can see it. But this car is all original. This is all original paint. It's a one owner car and super, super clean. One of the ones that I would say is probably the best example of a time capsule in terms of originality that I currently own. So again, if you haven't checked out that video, make sure that you have. Today, going to be following up on the brakes. So the one thing that didn't get addressed was the ability to get this car to stop again. So because it sat for so long, I was told about 10 years. The battery told us it was purchased in 2006, so that's about 15 years ago. Who knows what happened? Maybe the pistons and wheel cylinders are seized. Maybe there's fluid and contamination in the brake lines. Who knows? So today, I'm gonna jack the car up, get the wheels off, and gonna try and bleed out the system because there is brake fluid in the master cylinder. So we'll get that checked over and see if we can get some brakes and some stopping power into this car. And that would actually allow us to take it out on the road because it does run and drive otherwise. Just can't do much if you can't stop and don't have any brakes. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done. Once that's done, then I'm hoping to address the one little exhaust issue. You know, moisture sat in one of the flow tubes and rotted out one of the pipes. Other than that, this thing is mint underneath. We'll get some PDR done on that driver's side door to get the door dings out and do some paint correction. And man, this thing is gonna be absolutely stunning. So let's not waste any more time. Get this car jacked up, get the wheels off, and we'll start taking a look at the brakes. All right, guys, so I got the two front wheels off. I'm going to start up here because these lines are independent off of the master cylinder. And it's important to start off in the front because most of the braking power is up here. So you can see everything looks kind of rusty from sitting. So what we'll do is pop these bleeder screws loose and gonna see if I can get any fluid to come out of them and do just a normal kind of brake bleeding procedure. I'm gonna have to call in the missus and hopefully she's interested in a leg workout and we can see if we can get any fluid to come out of here and see what happens. For now, I will pop this one bleeder screw loose and maybe there'll be a little bit of gravity feed that comes out of it. So we'll start with that before we bleed and see what we get. Oh, getting fluid. So that's good. Going to pop the lid off the master cylinder. Let this bleed down a little bit. So I'll give you guys a little sneak peek under the hood here. So you can see you got the cap off of the master. It's pretty much full of fluid. I did add a little bit just because we are going to be bleeding. You know, there's a little bit of contamination on the top of the boot / gasket there, but everything looks pretty good otherwise. So we'll see what happens when we try a little bit of a bleeding procedure. Everything else, if you haven't seen already, looks really nice and tidy in here. So if we can get the brakes going, this thing's going to be pretty much ready to do some road testing. So we'll let that drip. Gonna go get the missus and see about getting some pedal action. Hold in reinforcements for the bleeding procedure. Pump it up. 3 big times. Holding it. Oh yeah, lots of air coming out. Again. Can you see how this is like a workout now? 3 times.
3.
Holding it.
Yeah, holding it.
Okay. Doesn't seem like there's too much air. Does the pedal feel any better? Like, does it feel stronger or harder to push? Okay, that's good. Go to the other side.
Can I let it go?
Yep. Okay, so you can pump 3 big times.
It's not going like all the way as far down when I pump now, right?
That's good.
Okay.
That means you're getting more brake pedal.
Okay, so I'm holding it.
Holding it.
Now about the floor.
Okay, pump it up.
Now I'm holding it.
Did you pump 3 times?
No. 2, 3, holding.
Floor?
Yeah.
Okay, pump it 3 times. Oh, I can actually hear it engaging now.
3, holding.
Okay.
Now the floor. Doesn't go very far. The brake pedal.
Like it's short?
Short.
Yeah, so that means that stuff's working. How hot are you?
Warm.
Are you gonna survive a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. So since we were successful in the front, I'm gonna move ahead, do the rear, and I'm gonna start in this corner because it's the furthest from the master cylinder. So we wanna make sure all the air gets out of this side. Then we'll do the driver's side rear, and then for good measure, we'll do the passenger front, then the driver's side front again. All right, babe, pump it up.
Pumping 3 times. 1, 2, 3, holding. It's not going to the floor.
It won't. It'll be kind of weak back here. Go again. Oh yeah. That was a nice one. And if you're bleeding lots of fluid out, you want to make sure you keep your eye on the master cylinder. So last thing you want is to get a bunch of air down in there because you ran out. So we're good.
Re-pumping.
All right, re-pumping.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice solid stream of fluid. Tighten that up. Spray everything on.
Now go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Pump it up. How's the pedal feeling?
Yeah, it's feeling like how it happened.
One more time. Oh yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do one more. You can actually see the drum getting pulled in every time she's pumping that pedal. So we're getting brakes back here. Ready? Okay. So now that we know that the rear's working, I'm gonna go ahead, do the front real quick again. We'll be good. Inspect the shoes while we're back here. They're getting a little low, but they'll get us around down the road for a test drive. This is interesting. There's actually the remnants of, it's almost like a toe tag wire on this caliper. I'm actually going to leave that on there. I can see we have a little bit of brake pad left. These are actually what will start to rub against your rotor when your pads get down too low. And so there's a little bit of life left there. Same thing in the back. The shoes aren't in the greatest shape, but I bet you these are all still the original brakes all around on this car. In the back, we had really good bite pushing the pedal down. We could see the shoes, wheel cylinders doing their thing, and the shoes grabbing the drums. So at this stage, gonna go ahead and button everything together, get the wheels back on here, and top up our brake fluid in the master cylinder here. There we go. All right, so there we are. We've bled all four corners, got our master cylinder all filled up, checked for leaks, everything's tight. Bleeder caps put back on everywhere, and I'm gonna go ahead, bolt the wheels back on, get the car back down on the ground, and we'll take it outside and see if it's gonna stop properly this time instead of fearing for your life, wondering if it's gonna stop or not. So one cool thing that I did find in the hatch before we do that, you can see here, got this little Batman / Fox looking icon right in the middle of the fog lamp here. That was actually pointed out to me by my friend Charles the other day. And when I was going through the hatch here, and check this out, guys. Look at how clean the spare tire cover is. Like, this thing is virgin. It's amazing. So I don't even want to touch it. But we can see here the old Marshall fog light covers. These things are badass. I'm gonna put these on just because why wouldn't you, right? Look at that. If that doesn't scream retro, I don't know what does. Sweet. All right, let's get these wheels back on. It's a hot one in Texas, guys. But doesn't stop me from working on a Foxbody. It's funny, even though I got all these brand new fancy tools that just came in here I am spinning lug nuts on by hand. I think part of me was just so excited to find like this OG near original tire iron with the original McGuard wheel lock. I was like, you know what? I got to do it like 1986. So definitely getting a workout in here, sweating out all the calories from the burger I had yesterday. It's all good though. So in case some of you guys were wondering what this thing was for on your tire iron, so I'm sure a lot of you found them like that. Well, your McGuard key snaps in, well, would have snapped in just like this. So we'll get this back in the hatch. We're all torqued down, get a battery reinstalled, see if this thing fires up. It should. Still has a little bit of that old gas in it, but shouldn't stop this thing from running. And we'll see if we got brakes. Let's see if this guy will fire up. Oh yeah, that brake pedal feels beautiful. There we go, she fired up. Running a little rough. That's that old gas that's in there. I'm gonna get the battery swapped out in the GoPro. We're gonna test these brakes. Ooh, we have brakes. And we're shifting gears. Whew. Let's see here. First ride with brakes. So, got one drive and overdrive. So let's see here. Probably the most important thing right now. Transmission's kicking down. It'd be nice to get the rest of this old fuel out of here and get some fresh stuff in, because I don't want to rev it too high. Actually work really well after bleeding them out. No complaints. Alright guys, so here we are, our first drive in the 86 OG hatch, 53,000 original miles. We're up to operating temperature, good oil pressure. Everything is working, including the brakes, which is awesome. We got fully loaded power features in this car. Everything works. Windows, locks. The AC doesn't work. That's the only thing that needs a charge. So with knowing all that, knowing everything's working, let's go for a drive. It was a commuter car for him when he was in university. success. Car runs, drives, stops, does everything that it should, and is actually a nice blast from the past to drive. So definitely really happy with this one. And you know, aside from getting some new tires and everything else on it, this one is ready for the road. There you go. Thanks again for subscribing. Thanks for following along. Give me your thoughts on this old 86 and tell me what you think of it. Till next time, we'll see you then.